The body positivity thing is really interesting because leading up to that, if you sort of look through most of like the 1900s, there were all these moves where women went from being ostensibly normal weight to being really super skinny. The reason for that is because there's actually a fairly narrow weight range in which women can conceive. If you're too skinny, it's much harder to conceive. So having these skinny body ideals makes it hard for women to conceive, which is why that's the direction that these trends always went in. The other reason why the trends went in that direction is because most women were less curvy than what most men desired. So female intersexual competition wasn't going to convince women to become curvier because that would make them more attractive. But then people got fat. The average woman was fatter than most men liked. So then instead of getting another heroin chic, what we got was body positivity, where female intersexual competition went, oh, you want to be fat? Okay, be really fat then. Be so fat that if you fall pregnant, you and your baby will actually be at massive risk. So women have a pretty narrow weight range in which they can effectively and safely conceive and give birth, which is why women's weight is always a target for intersexual competition. So it was making women skinny when that was pushing them away from what male preferences were. Then people got fat, and so we got body positivity, which pushed women away from male preferences because now most women sat on the fat side of the average male preferences. So then it started pushing women in that direction. Layered on top of that, again, we've got this inversion where for the last however many years it's been since it's been okay to put a size 8 blonde in a jeans commercial, which apparently it's still not okay, where we've had all of these supremely unattractive people being lauded as though they're attractive, and we're all going to need to go along with this pretense. And again, that's just about disrupting people's mate preferences and convincing people that what's not attractive is actually attractive. And yeah, what you've seen in response to the Sydney Sweeney ad, they knew what they were doing. I'm sure the advertisers are not so stupid that they did not know exactly where the "you're a Nazi" crowd was going to go with Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
She became some sort of right-wing icon, which people were like, well, I thought the right was about suppressing female sexuality. But I think the right wants female sexuality actually not suppressed, but controlled in order to produce certain outcomes.
What they want is for female sexuality to be functional. If the left are progressive and the right are conservative, and what the conservatives are trying to do is pull civilization back from the brink, and of course what the progressives are trying to do is progress civilization, which sounds great until you realize that what they're progressing for is annihilation. And all of a sudden becoming conservative and pulling back from annihilation looks like a really good idea. So if that is the fundamental difference between progressives and conservatives, is that progressives are pushing for the breakdown of civilization and conservatives are trying to stave it off, then what conservatives want is functional sexuality for both men and women. They don't want it to be repressed, they just want it to be maximally functional. And part of being maximally functional is you need to be able to actually admit what's attractive.